ba. Here we go again. Let's see if it works this time. I don't know why. There it goes. It's the strangest thing. It really is strange sometimes how this thing works. I'll bet you this works. Yeah, because now I'm seeing the little thing going. It's so weird. It's odd when, yeah, like I said, YouTube just has this really particular way it likes to do things. I don't really get it, but that's okay. So let's see. Alright, so we'll just say test 2. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that's not working now. Oh, there it goes. Hey, there it is. Okay. Strange, strange, strange. But whatever works, works. That's okay. This posted. Excellent. Close that window. We can now close this. I tell you. I'm telling you. It is bizarre to me how picky this thing can be. I shouldn't complain. It works. Like it does work. Oh, that's not right at all. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go to the multi-stream thing. And let's do a couple of quick tests. So we will call this test Twitch just to make sure it's working. And there it is. Okay, we know that's working. Now let's go to this and let's do a test, test TON. And that is also showing up, although it's showing up from the wrong account. That's interesting. And let's do this test. Oh, watch, these are going to be backwards. No, see, it's not. So it's not. Oh, I know why. I know why. I forgot. There's some odd thing with this. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is what I get. Where I said, oh yeah, no, I thought to myself, I'm gonna start well ahead of time because I've got everything set up. Always something. Guaranteed. There's always something. So that's fine. I mean, I don't really care. It's just kind of funny that even when you plan everything just right, TON2. Let's hit this and hold on. Ah, there it is. We're good. Okay, I can shut this. I don't know why it doesn't show up on the one screen, but it's showing up on the stream, so I don't care. Okay, so all I have to do now is hit enter and hit enter and enter and enter. This is the only part I really can't do ahead of time, because if for some reason the stream doesn't start, I don't want to have posted it 80 places and then I have work. So it's the only thing I really can't do ahead of time is the Discord stuff. Everything else I can. So that's fine. Not a big deal. I even have my other stuff preloaded here, so I can hit that. And oh, there's my notifications. So now I've got the correct ones. That's good. That's good. And so the only other thing I have to do is go to here and just see something. Okay, and come on, come on, come on. There it is. Bang. Did I hit that? Yes, I did. Okay. Oh. Have to tap that button. And there we are. Done. Now I can actually get the stream started, which is still going to be a little ahead of time. I was planning on being started at 6:30, so I'm actually running very, very slightly ahead, which I will take. So let's get going, because who knows what's going to happen here. All right, there we go. Oh, I have to move my keyboard. See, that's why I got to start early, because I never remember to do things in the proper order. So you'll see the iPad, but it's not going to be sideways yet. Oh, no. Why is that on? Oh, I see what I did. My fault. I unhid the wrong window. That's okay. This thing should be hidden because I'm not doing that, whatever that is. All right. So there is our zombie-faced woman. And you know what I'm going to do is... Ooh, good idea. Let's bring that down to here. Let's do that. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that was it. Okay, that's good. Let's do, this way you can see it kind of more like I actually want it to look. Because, you know, on that white background, it's very bright. I gotta fix that skull. That skull is not gonna look like that. It's not gonna be cracked in that way. I can already tell you, I don't like that. I don't think I liked that when I originally did the sketch, but I went ahead and inked it anyway. Digitally inked, of course, because I figured, oh, maybe it'll grow on me. It's not growing on me. It's not gonna grow on me because it just doesn't look good to me. Certain things you just know they're not going to get any better. It's, you know, it's a rarity a lot of times. There's a lot of things, and I've said this before, where I'll say, you know what, before you make a decision, well, I mean, I guess I technically did do this. I say, you know, don't look at it for a little bit. Make sure that you really don't like it. Well, I really don't like that, so that's going away. I don't have to think about that one too hard because it's gonna go away. So I'm basically just filling in, or I'm just erasing the outline, so that basically there's always going to be a white background to this. And that way we get a better look at it. Yeah. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. But I don't like having that really bright white background there. Oh, my dog just burped, but luckily it was not within camera, or sorry, not camera, microphone capture distance. So you were spared that lovely bit of class display by my dog. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. Relax. Yeah. Would you like to breathe on the mic for a minute? Here, breathe on the mic. You want to lick the mic? Yeah. Okay. There. That's enough for people. Nobody's going to want to hear that anyway. Okay. So let's keep going here. She was sniffing at the mic as if it's some kind of magical morsel she can eat, which it is not. That's okay, though. Yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the skull pieces. I have time. I have as much time as I want. I'm not worried about it right this second. It's no matter what, there is going to be a piece of the skull missing. So it's not a problem I really have to solve anytime soon. It's not going to fundamentally... Whatever I do there isn't going to fundamentally change the image. So I'm not too worried about it. But I just know it's not going to stay like it is. Yeah, that just does not look good. There's no two ways around it. It just doesn't look good. So it's not going to stay. Don't keep something if you know it's not working. You know, once you make... Most of us do at a certain point when it comes to creative stuff like this. You do get to a point where you realize, yeah, you know what? It's just, no. Just doesn't look good. Gotta go. So it's going to. It's going to, but like I said, it's not an urgent issue right this second. It's something that can absolutely wait. Hey, Timber Dragon, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday. For a second, I forgot what day it was, which is not uncommon. I often forget what day it is. Time doesn't have any meaning anymore. Well, not since COVID. Time kind of lost its meaning for me in COVID. I was like, you know what? So what? What's one day to the next? They all blend together. They all just blend together. I mean, not that I was really great with a calendar before that. I really wasn't. That's one of those things where I know I think about how much I depend on my cell phone for not for much, but that is one of the areas, is reminders for things. I don't remember anything. I really don't. To the point where I know that some people think that my memory being so bad is probably because I'm on drugs, like I smoke a lot of pot or something like that. It's not that. It's not that. I just don't have a good memory. I never have. Just don't. It's really not, I mean, as far as I know, from anything. It might be genetic. So who knows? But it's not because of anything external. I just don't have a good memory. It's that simple. And I never really have. Couldn't tell you why. Just know that it's a fact. That if you're going to rely on me to remember something, outside of really stupid stuff, I can remember really dumb stuff. Trivial things I remember really well, but I have no sense of time. I think I've said this before. I couldn't tell you the difference between 5 minutes and 15 minutes. I can tell certain things. I know the difference between 5 minutes and an hour. I know if I've been sitting somewhere for more than maybe half an hour. That doesn't look good at all. That's probably the limit of it, though. So, just never been good with it. Never been good with time and dates and all that stuff. But luckily, you know, most of us at this point, have a phone or something that can tell us all that stuff. So that is one of those things that I do depend on my phone for. Not much else. I don't store a lot of photos on my phone. I don't store a lot of other stuff on my phone because you just drop it the wrong way and it's toast. And you might get stuff off it, but you might not. We've become very comfortable with the phone having everything. And not enough people back their stuff up. Especially how easy it is now. I mean, everybody makes a... Geez, I think everybody who makes a phone or whatever, they all have a backup utility now. You know, where you can just back it up to the cloud, and that way if your phone breaks or whatever, something happens, you can get your stuff back. If you're not backing your stuff up, you should be. Easy, easy tip for anybody. Back your stuff up. Because we all think, oh, no, nothing's going to happen, whatever. It happens. I had to wipe my iPad out last week because it kept telling me that I was entering the wrong password. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty good with my passwords. I know I was entering the right password, so I don't know what happened with it. But it didn't really matter because everything was backed up to the Apple iCloud service. So I said, you know what? I got sick of fighting with it, and I went, okay, fine, just destroy it. Just wipe it out, and I'll restore it. And sure enough, within about an hour... Wait, the chat box isn't working? It was working before. Huh. No. I guess that's just the way it goes. It was working. Hold on, let me make sure it's the right one. Let me look. Yeah, that's weird. It was working. I tested it a bunch of times. It showed up before. Well, here, let me do a... Oh, apparently there was a new version of that software. Well, whatever. Let me do this. And let me see if that changes anything. So hold on. Oh, I have to click this. And let me go down here. Let's try... Is it that one or is it the other one? Jeez. All right. Type something else. Let's see if it shows up. Problem is, these all have... They give it the same name. I wish they would rename each of these things so I could tell which one was which, but in the software, they all just have the same name. So I don't know what's going to show up, but when I typed in the other stuff, it showed up, which is odd. So if I type like that, yeah, see, that's showing up. So I don't know why, and I tried it over in the other thing and it showed up. Oh, I see something. Hold on. Really? Hold on. Aha! I'll bet it shows up now. Try it now. That's what it was. I saw there was an error. So try typing something. Oh, wait. Now do I have to reload this? Hold on a minute. I probably have to reload that. Hold on a minute. Good grief. The amount of these things. All right. Let's try that one. Try that one. Otherwise, I basically have to close the software and restart it again. Which I could do, but there it goes. Yep, now it's showing up. That's what it was. For whatever reason, it reset the, I don't know, reset something. So I just had to reload it, and then it came back. Then I saw all your other messages show up, so it does work. I can see it now. You should be able to see it. I don't know why it stopped working, because it was working before, but YouTube is very strange on the things it gets particular about. I really don't get it. It gets very, very particular about just certain things, and other things it seems to do really well with. So, couldn't tell you why. And they'll never bother to answer me if I even were to ask them, because I've been far, far too critical of them over the years, and I'm sure they know that. So even if I were to say, hey, could somebody explain to me why this does this? I wouldn't get an answer. They would say, oh, you're lucky it works at all. We've heard the stuff you've said about us. And it's amazing we even let you activate a stream anymore. Which they have every right to say no. It's their company. If they don't like what I'm doing on it, they can absolutely kick me off. I don't think I actually have heard of anybody. Well, I'm sure it's happened, but I've never seen any really big public cases where somebody who was critical of Google or Alphabet, I guess. I don't know. You know, YouTube is not part of Google. I think YouTube is considered part of Alphabet. But I've never heard of somebody getting kicked off for being critical of them. They've been kicked off for other reasons, but I don't think it's ever been because they said, Google's terrible. And then suddenly their YouTube account vanished. But I have seen people who've lost their YouTube channel for no good reason. Or with no ability to say, wait a minute, can we talk this over? Nope. Just one day somebody will log in and their account's gone. That's why, hey, congratulations. That's great. 100 subs is awesome. I don't even know how many months it took me to hit 100. Because I don't know if it maybe it told me. Maybe something came up and said, hey, you hit 100. I don't remember. On the channel that I have 100 on. I don't know if it actually said anything. You don't get one of those really fancy trophies or whatever they send out, plaques for 100. What is it? You got to get to, I think it's 500,000 before you get anything. I've seen them. People have them in their channel. I don't really care. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ever expecting to get anywhere near that, and that's fine. You have to do a certain kind of video or stream channel to do that stuff. It's just the way it is, and I'm never gonna be one of those types of channels. But that's okay. That's not a big deal. I knew that starting this channel that it was never going to be a big channel. At some point, I guess if that's something you care about, you got to decide how much you care. Fortunately, I don't care. Yeah, I had a friend of mine whose channel vanished, and unfortunately, even though I know I told him more than once, he didn't keep any of his videos. He didn't back them up. See, any videos that I do, these streams, everything, the next day, I grab them. Everything gets downloaded the next day, and it gets put onto my computer, my hard drive, and that way, if the channel were to vanish, I could restart it in no time because I have the videos. And I told him, I said, your channel can just go away. And I think people just don't think it's going to happen. I really do. I think people just imagine that, well, I'm not doing anything because, they think they're not doing anything that YouTube's going to care about. And the thing is, you just don't know because they never explain it. I mean, I think they have with big time people when their channels have, I know Rift Tracks lost their channel and it ended up being related to, I guess, the company that owns Rift Tracks owns another company, and that company's channel was posting stuff that was violating the terms of service, and since Rift Tracks was associated with them, they got ripped down too. But that's, the only reason that anybody knows that is because Rift Tracks is fairly popular, and a lot of people got very upset and started yelling at YouTube about it, and that's why they got an explanation. Most people don't get an explanation. They don't. It's one of the reasons I'm not thrilled that YouTube is as big as it is. I wish YouTube had a better competitor because only certain people will ever get an explanation on why their channel went away, and that's just nonsense. A company, if there's not something very, very clear where you're violating and a lot of times it isn't. A lot of times people don't know why their channel vanished. They don't think they were doing anything wrong. And at the very least, they should be owed, if you're going to take all their stuff away. Oh, it just froze. I saw it. I caught it this time. I'm trying to pay attention, so I'm going to get a drink while that resyncs itself. So give that a minute. You'll see it. I think at the very least, they owe you an explanation. There should be a message that's sent to you saying, here's exactly why your channel is being removed, and you should have some amount of time to file an appeal. And luckily, I'm not trying to make money off this thing, because some people are. All of my videos and shorts are still downloaded on my device, and every time I post a video, it has to be downloaded so I can upload the files to post it. So all the videos and shorts. Yeah, well, that's smart. Good. A lot of people don't think about it. They really don't. And so then if their channel does get wiped out, they have nothing. If you have your stuff backed up, at the very least you could go to TikTok or Kick or some other service, put your stuff on there and say, fine, I'm done with YouTube. I'm going to stay here and I'll put all my stuff here. Because, it doesn't matter who you made it for. It just matters that it's video. But a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just, oh yeah, I'll get to it. Or, yeah, I'm not doing anything that's going to get me. You don't know. You just don't know. With all, especially because of how much this stuff is just hidden, meaning that nobody really knows why it happens, and the fact that they don't bother to explain to a lot of people what's going on. It's a bad situation to be in if you're not going to have your stuff backed up. So you should have your stuff backed up. So you are being smart. Very smart by doing that, because you could just lose your stuff and you would have no idea. That is not great. Not great. All right, let's chip away at this. Here we are. Here we are. Yep, so we're only, what, 3-4 days away from September and getting into the fall. Not that you would know it in California, because it's going to be 105 one day next week. Utterly ridiculous, this weather. I mean, really. 105. It's going to be September and it's going to be 105. Nonsense. I mean, luckily, it is cooling off faster because the days are getting shorter, but it's still just nonsense that I even have to say the phrase 100-degree weather in late August, September. Just ridiculous. I mean, August maybe. I'll give you a little bit of August because, yeah, August is still technically summer, but it's pretty stupid, I'll just say. Especially because we just had a few really nice days where it wasn't that way. But I like the fall and I like the winter, so I'm not going to complain too much. Generally my favorite time of year because it cools down, and, you know, once we get to December, it'll be Christmas, holiday time, and I actually like holiday music. I strangely have gotten to like holiday music more and more. There was this one small YouTuber that I was a fan of, and they were super close to going to a big goal of 500 subs, and right before their account just got deleted. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. No, there's more than a few cases of that I've read about and seen channels just vanish. And the thing is, like I said, it's not so much that the channel gets deleted, although I don't think it's really fair to, unless you've been warned, and in that case, if you're doing something stupid, then hey, that's what happens to you. But a lot of these people, unless they're lying, and they could be, but that just doesn't seem that way. It seems like a lot of these people just, one day they go to, I mean, it was like what happened to me in TikTok, which fortunately I didn't care that much about. I just suddenly couldn't get in. I've still, every so often, just for fun, I try to sign into the TikTok account I set up. It just says your account's been suspended. No reason, no warning, no nothing. It came out of nowhere. I've never seen any type of email or message or anything that explains anything. And I went, okay, well, whatever. I didn't really care that much. So it was just, if anything, they did me a favor because they saved me having to put anything on there. One less channel that I have to worry about putting content on. So they did me a favor. It's not like I ever really cared to begin with, but it just was, again, one of these things where one day it just stopped working for no reason. And I mean, I wasn't posting anything, nothing that could possibly have been objectionable. Literally was just posting 5-minute episodes, and they're the episodes that I do where I don't swear or nothing. I feel like I'm typing in paragraphs. No, only 2 of your messages. I mean, it's showing up like that because unfortunately I don't know of a good way to resize that where it doesn't do that, but it only looks like that. No, you've only actually typed 2 paragraphs in the whole thing. You're fine. Besides, who cares? Type whatever you want. Type in paragraphs. Don't matter to me. I'm easygoing when it comes to the chat room stuff. You do type whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It may look like paragraphs, but we know it isn't, so it's fine. Don't sweat it. Okay, so I'm not going to do too much with this because I'm going to redo this anyway. I'll probably leave it the same. I might just get rid of the cracks in the skull there. Sorry, my voice hitched for a minute because it was kind of like a half hiccup that then went away. All right, so now we can turn this all the way up. So this is I like working like this better, where it's not the whole background being white. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Sorry, open my eyes. All right. So let's do... Oh, I have to do this color in right here. This little area. Let's get that filled in. There we are. Very good. I think that's all the areas I have to worry about for the bones. Looks like it. Let's give her very blue eyes. It's going to be blue or green, I don't know which. But let's start with blue. Blue's kind of a good color. It stands out. It's nice and bright. Yeah. Just give her blue eyes. They might end up being green, but we'll see. Or blue eye. Oh no, blue eyes. Both eyes will be blue. So this eye needs to be blue too. There we are. I mean, I could give her yellow eyes because zombies a lot of times have yellow eyes. I could do that. I might do that. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we want to go that route with this. We'll see, though. We'll leave the... What is it? The pupil? White on that other eye. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. I need to go one shade darker on this for the inner part here. So bang, and let's knock that down like there. Okay, sample that. Let's grab the pen. Let's fill in this area. There we are. So yes, I would like fall including its temperatures for fall, to get here quick. I am sick of this 100-degree nonsense. Not a fan of it. Okay, so there was someplace else. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna bring this up a bit. Let's knock that to say 8. Oh, right. Forgot. There we go. We gotta erase that because these would be darker areas too. So let's erase all that. Now let's go into here and we'll do this. Give that nice dark bone color. There we are. I'll do her skin tone in a second. I used to have skin tone samples on the iPad, but I don't think I could look those up. I never seem to get skin tone quite right. It always feels like it's off. So fortunately, there are a number of websites that if you don't have an exact idea of what skin tone colors are, you can go look them up, which is great. You know what? Let's see here. I forgot. You know what? I'm going to put this up here. I got to just clean that up because that's going to be more annoying to do that way. So let's just turn that off. Let me just clean these edges up a little bit. So bear with me 1 second. Looks okay. Let's go over here. Those look okay. There we are. All right. So let's see. Let's do this. Let's make that go there. Have this come up in here. I'm not going to worry about that because that skin color is going to go over this. Wrap this around. There we are. Okay. Or wait, was I going to do that? No, I was not going to do that. I was going to have it come like this. Wrap that around. I learned there's a show called Vampirina, and it's supposed to teach children not to be rapist. Jeez. Racist. Really? Vampirina. Never heard of it. That's good. I'm all for that. Let's see. What is Vampirina? Let me take a look. Let's see. It's kind of sad you have to teach children not to be racist, but I guess that's the world we're in. Vampirina is an American animated children's television series. I can't speak. You know what I need? I need a show that can teach me how to speak without screwing my words up all the time. Wow, this show's been on for a while. This show has been on since 2017, so that's 7 years. Doc McStuffins. Oh, I thought that was a joke from... Oh, that's interesting. It's based on books. Based on Vampirina Ballerina. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's been on for a while. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, apparently it's a show that aims to have positive messaging. Well, that's good. That's great. Oh, for that. I never heard of that before. I mean, not really a surprise. I don't watch a lot of kid shows, so it's not a shock that I don't know what it is. But that's great. I'm all for a show that teaches kids not to be racist. If that's, hey, I'm all for a show that lets kids feel good about anything. Because the world can be a not fun place a lot of the time, depending on where you live and what's going on where you live. So if there's something that's supposed to make people treat each other better and be better people, I'm all for it. All for it. Oh, that can't be like that. Oh, man. I really screwed that up. Okay. Jeez. That's a big eraser I've got happening there. Okay. There we go. Jeez. Yeah, I went right with the gigantic brush. Well, that's great. I have no issues with that. I got no issues with that at all. I think that's a good thing. Like I said, oops, I missed a spot. Let me get that really quick. There's enough mean, cruel, harsh people in the world at the moment. So if there's something that can try to get kids not to be that way, I'm all for it. Let's see. Know what theme? So, well, the problem with kid stuff, a lot of kid shows is they're, how do I put this? They're not usually all that subtle. A lot of times, you know, they kind of go a little bit too far into what they're doing. That's not uncommon. You know, it's just how they make shows now. So the nice part is, on at least most of these services now that you're going to watch these things on, because almost nobody's watching them on television anymore, you can just skip it. That's the nice part, is you can just skip the theme song. So if it's that bad, you can skip right by. I mean, even I run something called a Plex server at home. That is basically like an internal streaming service. And even that's got skipping the credits on things now, which is really weird that they added that, because you would think on shows that you like, you'd want to hear the credits. But hey, you know, I'm glad it's there. I almost never really use it, but it's nice that it's there. So I don't mind it being there. It's just kind of funny to me because, like I said, a Plex server is not, well, I mean, you can tie it into other services, but what most people, including here at the house, we use it to watch things, you know, because I buy things on Blu-ray and DVD, and I have them on disc because I don't trust streaming services. Oh, I'm not going to listen to it. I believe you. I can't make it through most children's theme songs. Whether they're good or not, they're just not usually for me. So I believe you. I got no problem believing you. But yeah, the Plex server is kind of a weird one to have skipping the theme songs because it's your own shows. So you would kind of think you'd want to hear the theme songs. Not always. I shouldn't say that universally. But a lot of the shows that I watch, I like the theme songs of them, so I leave it on. But I like that. That's what I'm saying, is most of these services now, you can skip all this stuff. You don't have to listen to it, which I think is great. When you could only watch things on television, meaning, you know, not through Netflix or a streaming service, you couldn't skip any of that stuff. You were stuck with it. You were going to hear it. One way or another, you were going to hear it. So it's good that we have the options now not to hear things if we don't want to. That's good. Which it sounds like in this case, you wouldn't want to hear it. So that's great. Like I said, I've never heard it or heard of it, but that's not really a surprise. That's not overly shocking to me. Okay, let's see. All right, let's do a little bit of shadow here. Just along where the skin is hanging over. clean that up. And we'll clean this up. And let's see. I said I want to do a really bright skin color for the actual zombie flesh here. So hold on a minute. And what do I want it to be? It's got to be on the top of all this. I guess I want to be like a green, like something like a nice harsh neon green. Ooh, that's not bad. Let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. All right, here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't do that. That was not what I meant to do. Okay, probably is not going to stay that green. Might, but I think maybe not. I don't know. I'll play around with it. I can't really judge it yet because I'm only just putting it, you know, in big splotches. It's not really fine-tuned yet. So we'll see, but just get some color in there just to start with, and then I can figure out what I want it to do. I'm gonna be a little careful when I do this because otherwise I just have to come in and erase it all, so don't want to be too sloppy on this. Well, I mean, that's going to be a darker whatever color anyway. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So let's do that. Hey, don't do that. Okay. I've had strep throat for like 4 days, and I have to take medicine for 10 days. All right, Timber. Well, I hope you feel better. Hope the strep throat goes away. I remember having strep throat. I remember taking antibiotics for it. It wasn't any fun. If you come back, that's great. But if not, have a good night. Like I said, hope your throat feels better. Thank you for stopping in. That's always nice when people pop in when they're regulars. So I like that. But, you know, I also get that not everybody can come by because my times have been kind of all over the place a little bit lately, but honestly, I don't know that I really care because I post all these on the YouTube channel anyway, so I don't know that there's a huge benefit to watching this stream live. I mean, sure, it's nice to hang out and chat here and there, but it's not like something that requires a lot of audience participation, so I don't ever expect to have it be any big streaming numbers. Yeah, that's fine. Not a big deal. Oh, I gotta erase that line. How did I not see that before? Let's see. Where is that? In there? Of course it is. Oh, it's probably one of the higher up. Oh, no, it might not be. It might be one of the lower ones. Yep, there it is. Because of where it is. Just to whittle that out. There we go. In fact, I don't like how that intersects, so we're just going to do that. And there we are. Okay, back to the green. I don't think it's going to stay this green. Meaning this shade of green. I might pull the saturation back a little bit on it. Or I might try some different... move the actual colors around. We'll see. We shall see. I actually started doing a large physical image again. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I may have. It is taking a while. It does not go as quickly as this stuff does, digital stuff, because I have to be really careful with the physical stuff, especially now that I'm a couple hours into it, because I don't want to rush and destroy it, which can happen very, very easily. So, yeah. Fun, though. It's about a 16 by 16 piece. Like I said, I haven't done anything in physical, and I've done the magic cards, but those are pretty small. I mean, this is a big 16 by 16 inches, so you know, well, it wouldn't be 1.5 feet, just under 1.5 feet each side square. So it's fun. I like doing that stuff. I can't really stream that because there's the way I have my drawing desk, trying to get a camera because somebody had asked me, oh, you're going to live stream that? It's like, I don't really have the setup for that. That would just be, man, I mean, I sort of can imagine how I would do it, but it would be such a bunch of work for something that I don't do often enough to make it worth putting all that effort in. So, not to mention the way I draw, I'd almost have to get in the way of the camera a bunch of times. What would be interesting is if there was some way to have this doesn't exist, but almost like the desk be translucent where you could see, like I could have a light that would show through the paper, and then you would just see the reversed image, and you would reverse it so it was normal looking, but I don't. If anything like that exists, I have to imagine it's exceptionally expensive, but I don't even know if anything like that actually does exist. That might just be something I'm making up in my head. I don't know if there is such a thing like that. There may be some kind of custom desk that they sell that does that stuff, but yeah, I'm never going to be buying that. Not unless I hit the lottery, and I don't even know if I'm going to do it then. I'm going to have better things to spend my lottery money on than that, because I don't know that it would be all that interesting anyway. I just don't. But I don't, and I also don't make plans based on, oh, I might win the lottery. That's not a great idea. Not the best idea, because most people aren't going to hit the lottery. Hate to break it to everybody if that was your plan, but it's unlikely. Can't never say it's impossible. It isn't, but probably not. Oh, you know what I just realized? Oh no, I did it right. I did it right. I thought I did that backwards. I did not. I did it correctly. Easy to get turned around on images like this and be like, wait, what are you looking at? I got it. Okay. All right, let's see here. Here we are. Here we are. Didn't erase this one. Oh, no. Didn't erase this one enough. There we go. Gotta really kind of straighten that out. Oh, man. Nope, that's not what I'm trying to do. Nope, neither is that. Maybe I just need to do this. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Do. Okay. So that's good. I'm good there. Let's do that really quick. Started playing the latest of the classic Yakuza games, which has now been, they no longer call them Yakuza, now they call them Like a Dragon, and they've split into two different types. What I guess you would call the mainline Like a Dragon games, which are turn-based, which I tried was it Yakuza 7 or Like a Dragon 7? Have to admit, wasn't for me. Just couldn't really get into the changing gameplay. I kind of like the classic version where you're just walking around brawling with people. That just works for me. Luckily, they are keeping that series going. So I picked up Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, which is quite a title. That whole thing is the title, by the way. That wasn't me describing the plot. That's the title. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name is the entire title. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but I don't really care because it is a nice return to the old style of Yakuza gameplay, which I really like, where you're just walking around, beating up criminals on the street. Simple, the way I like it. You know, that's good if people like the new one. From what I understand, it's actually very good. But I just couldn't. It's one of those things, when you play a video game series for the amount of years I've played the Yakuza games, in a certain way, it is tough to change. It's very tough to have that change as radically as going to turn-based. I mean, that's a pretty big change to go from just walking around beating people up, kind of a simplified brawler, to turn-based where you're managing a squad and everything else, that's... I don't have a problem with the change, really, because they've kept the other one going so that people like me who prefer that older style can still play it. So it's good to play with the idea. I don't mind that. And from what I've read, it's well done. I didn't think the story or anything was bad when I played it. I just couldn't get used to the gameplay of it. It just was too much of a departure, especially because the Yakuza games, if you've never played them, they almost universally take place in the same location. And I mean literally the same map, more or less with slight deviations here or there, where you might travel out of the city for, a mission or two and then you come back. So when you've played what in my case would be 8 games, I mean, they even did one which was a sort of a departure where you were actually, it was a zombie version where you were walking around just shooting things, which admittedly was odd, but it was still closer to the original gameplay than the changes they made for, I guess it'd be called Yakuza 7. I don't even know what the number is. I think they're all being called Like a Dragon now, but I think that one was called Yakuza 7. That's still just such a big shift that even a game that was based in shooting, which the game had never... I mean, you could use firearms in the game. They were present, but they never really felt like they were well integrated. They didn't feel like they were really what you were meant to do. They just had them in there, mostly because a lot of enemies would use them against you, which made them very tough compared to enemies that were just, punching you, because you could eventually power yourself up to the point where a lot of them were not a threat. But guns in that game, because they were rare and because they were powerful, those were always a threat. You really weren't going to be able to just keep going up against somebody with a gun. They were going to take you down pretty quickly if you couldn't get the gun out of their hands. And that's really what it became about, was, okay, you have to get the gun. And even then, when you got it, it's not like you could just keep shooting it. The game would very, very carefully limit your ammo so that you were always... You might get... Geez, I don't know if any of the guns even let you fire 6 times. Whereas when they're shooting you, they appear to have infinite ammo, which is, convenient for the video game characters to have no limit on what they can do. And you, as the protagonist, amazingly, must have gotten that pistol, or whatever firearm it was. Amazingly, it just so happened that you picked it up right when it was just about empty. Ah, what a shame. So, that's how they manage things. It's okay. It's clearly a way to stop you, because if you did get a gun with infinite ammo, the game would become so easy it would be pointless. You don't want to make it that easy. So I'm kidding when I say, gee, it's not a mystery. They do it on purpose. That's a very, very common way in a brawler, is they will take weapons that, because you can't make it. It wouldn't be something that people would accept if, let's say somebody pulls a handgun on you in the brawler, right? And they shoot you. Wait, what is that? Oh, it's just skin. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Hold on. I think I got it. Okay. So let's say in this game, somebody pulls a handgun on you, right? Now, the way you make that threatening in a game like this, and not just nothing, is you have to make it very strong, which means, like I said, you can't take many hits from a pistol in the game, or you'll die or be knocked out, or whatever the situation is. Because you always come back, so you're not really dying, you're just kind of going unconscious for a minute. So if they made it so that the gun wasn't a threat, well, then you don't care when somebody's got one. You don't feel any tension. There's no drama to the actual fighting. And very typically, there's only 1 or 2. So let's say you're fighting 10 guys at once, which sometimes happens. Maybe 2 to 3 of them will have guns, and the rest will be the normal guys. And the gun guys, at least in the Yakuza games, but I think other games do this, a similar tactic, is the gun guys will stay way back. They'll hang back because they have range. They can shoot from a ways away, and they can still hit you. So they let all the non-firearm people come up and overwhelm you, and that distracts you, and you're trying to handle them, and then these guys can just take shots at you from way back. Like I said, it's a effective and pretty common technique, but they also have to make those characters a threat. Otherwise, like I said, you would just ignore them. If they were shooting you and it wasn't doing much, well, then it's pointless to even give them guns. You might as well just let them be hitting you like the other guys are. Why even bother with it if there's not something special about the weapon? So they have to make them pretty strong. Okay, well, in this game, when you defeat an enemy holding a weapon of basically any kind, as far as I know, they will drop the weapon and you can use it. So that means if the enemy has a pistol and it's very strong, and they're shooting at you, and you manage to get to them, which anybody who plays this game and figures, you're going to figure that out very quickly, is, okay, I have to take out the guys with the guns first, because otherwise I'm not going to last very long. So you figure that out, you run to the guy, or at the guy. I think all the enemies in this game series, geez, I want to say they're all men, now that I think about it. I don't know if that's a accurate thing in, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Japanese crime culture. Maybe in Japanese crime culture, only men can be in the criminal organizations. I will admit, I don't know. In any event, in this game, as far as I remember, there may have been female enemies, but generally you're running across a group of guys. So what you figure out pretty quickly is that you have to go after the guys with the guns. There's like a hierarchy to the weapons. You know, a baseball bat or a pipe is the lowest thing. You don't really have to worry about that too much. Then you move up to a knife. Oh, well, a knife can be a problem because those guys are usually pretty quick, so they can hit you more than once. And then you can move up to like a Japanese samurai sword or a katana. Well, now you're in a lot of trouble because those things will really cut you up. And then, of course, you go up to the firearms, which could be pistols, could also be machine guns. I believe some of the games had some guys using rocket launchers, which is fairly ridiculous. And I just noticed my screen froze, so I'm going to get that back. I'll get a drink while I do that. Bear with me a minute. Here we go. And so you figure out that, okay, if I see somebody who's got a pistol or a firearm of some kind, I need to take that person out. And that's a very smart thing to do, because if you don't, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So you do that, right? Sorry, I'm just going to find where this is so I can take this out, because regardless, that can't be there. Sorry, just give me a minute. So that means you're going to end up having that weapon. Well, if that weapon is a strong weapon, which it is. Oh, hey, Timber, welcome back. So if you end up with a weapon that's really, really strong, then if it can just keep shooting all the time, like the bad guys have in the game, you're going to go through that game pretty quick, because now you're unstoppable. So what they have to do is they have to make it where the pistol or whatever it is can't just last forever. And the way that they stop it from lasting forever is after 3 to 6 shots, it just stops working and you drop it. So that's how many of these games, and certainly the Yakuza games, that's how they balance it out. So that's the way that they have to do it, because otherwise it would be very easy to just, mow through everybody. So there is a very, very, very long and overly detailed explanation of playing the Yakuza games. There you go. Great games. If you never played them, they are great games. Not for everybody. You have to like brawlers. And that's a style of game that you don't see a lot of anymore. We've seen a lot of them lately. And fortunately, a lot of them have been really good. Like the Ninja Turtles game. They did a new Ninja Turtles game called Shredder's Revenge, which is quite excellent. Reviewed very well, and I will say it's a great game. My only complaint is that it's relatively short. And I don't say that meaning, you shouldn't pay a lot of money for it. It's too short. Not one of those kind of complaints. Just as I could have played that game. I could have played that. Oh, crap. I put things in the wrong spot. Sorry. Just realized I did that. Okay, let's do that. There we go. Right there. I just mean I could have played it a lot. The older comments. Why? Did the older comments went away, I think. They go away eventually. They will fade off. But yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game is really good. Actually, you know what? I think there's supposed to be nothing there. I think that's supposed to be an empty space like that. Yeah, pretty sure that's what I meant that to be. Yeah, there we go. this. But yeah, for a while there, you didn't see a lot of brawler games. Not many. They would show up, but they'd be really spaced far apart. But let's see. Last year, I mean, the River City Girls games are really good. Really, really love the art style in those. What is that game called? The Guacamelee games are really good. Also a really wild art style. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game is great because they made it look a lot like the old arcade style. Oh, they just stay there forever on the YouTube chat? Huh. I don't know if that's something I can... I wonder if I can adjust that. I never looked at the settings on YouTube itself, so I don't know if that's something I would assume I could probably adjust it, but I've never actually... never looked at that. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, I guess they just stay persistent, don't they? They just stay there forever. Now that you say that, you can always scroll back and see them. But yeah, since you're the only person really saying anything, they're all going to be yours. So, sorry about that. But as you're the only person that's here that's saying anything, it's all you. You run the chat. You cannot change. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's probably some reasoning behind that, I guess. Again, it's another thing that would it be nice to be able to change that? Yeah, probably wouldn't be bad for you to say, okay, after 15 minutes, go ahead and just get rid of those older messages. Doesn't really seem like there's a point in keeping them that long. Or that you could switch to a view where you didn't see older messages. Like you as a viewer, at the very least, you as a viewer should be able to say, okay, I don't want to see chat messages older than 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, because really, who cares? That long in, you could always switch it back if you wanted to, but that should be a setting. I would say that's a setting that users should have. You as the viewer should have that setting, even if I as the poster or host don't have it. That's okay. But, yeah, if you don't want to be seeing old messages, I don't think you should have to see them. Just my opinion, but I don't run anything at YouTube, so I can't really do anything about it. If I did run things at YouTube, yeah, things would be different. That's for sure. I mean, I would try to make things different. There's obviously legal stuff involved in all this, too. I try to remember that, but at the same time, let me look at some of the things. Before I came here, were there any people on Twitch? Or was they all... No, as far as I am assuming, I have not asked for confirmation, but based on the fact that my sister usually watches the stream and doesn't say anything, I'm going to guess she's the other person. So it's you and my sister doesn't say anything. So she never does any chat messages. She will text me. And in fact, you'll probably hear it if she does. And that's the only reason I would know. She's not going to put it into the... I think she watches it. Well, I mean, I'm guessing she's signed into YouTube, but she doesn't chat anything. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not sitting here trying to, cajole people. Cajole is such a weird word, but it's a good one. Into saying anything. It's fine. Do they still call that lurking? That used to be the term. Lurkers. People who were in a online chat room or whatever and just didn't say anything. I don't care. I'll still use that word and people can lurk all they want. It's fine. But no, Timber Dragon, you're the only one. That's okay. You know what? It's like I say, I'm not going to get hung up on it. I've talked to people who've had streams that nobody showed up to, and then suddenly out of nowhere, a bunch of people show up. So YouTube is the only social media I'm signed into. Yeah, YouTube, I keep YouTube signed in most of the time. Wait a minute. I knew it. I almost made that mistake again. Phew, almost. That and Blue Sky. Those are really it. Oh, and technically I have Instagram on my phone. I don't use it except for saying I'm going to be streaming. Because I just don't. I don't take enough photos for it to matter. And even the photos I do take, I'm just not somebody who feels the need to share all my photos all the time to everybody. That came, to be honest, it's something that younger people do. My sister does it. She puts pictures of her kids, and she has kids, I don't. So that's good. I like seeing those pictures. That's another thing. If I were going to post pictures, all they would be is my dog. And they would probably be very, very similar pictures all the time of my dog sleeping, which I find to be adorable and I love it, but I understand that not everybody would. So that's okay. But that's the only other thing I have on my phone, and I might open that twice a day, and it's honestly just to see if my wife or my sister has posted any pictures. And other people that I follow here and there, but I don't make it a point. Oh, I thought the screen froze. So yeah, that's kind of it too. And even YouTube, I don't always stay signed into because I gotta be honest, I don't like how YouTube, if you watch a video for something, YouTube just assumes you want every single thing to be something similar, and I don't like that. So there's a lot of times that I'll just open a separate browser in a private window and see if I care to watch something, because I don't want everything to be suggested like that. I'm really careful about the stuff that I follow and the people whose channels I support, because there's a lot of junk out there. And I don't like the fact that YouTube sees you look at anything new and immediately starts going, oh, yes, I did actually see that. Thank you. I'm actually going to finish out the green skin, and that'll be the end of the stream. But thank you for pointing that out, because, yeah, I've been coloring like this thing for so long, the time just got lost on me. But I am, in fact, yeah, that's a good place to stop. Oh, I am going to do one other thing, which is I'm going to, where do I have a black layer? I do. For right now, anyway, I'm going to make the eyebrow black. I may make it a different color later because I haven't decided what her hair color will be. But for now, we're just going to make this black because it looks funny when it's green. So we'll blacken this out really quick. And then we'll zoom out so you can get a good look at where I am. And that will do it for the stream. So yeah, there we are. That's where. But thank you. I appreciate you looking at it. Oh, it absolutely, yes. The YouTube algorithm is junk. And that's being kind. It's junk. So yeah, it's quite out of whack. Well, I think that's where we're going to bring this stream to a close. So, getting some work done here. Moving along. Yeah, I don't know if her skin... Either her skin or her eyes, I think, have to change color. I don't know that I want to keep them that way. Ooh, kind of like the purple. Kind of like red. Well, that's a little alien looking. Let's leave it like this for now. This is one of those things where I'm not going to look at it for a couple days. So, we'll just leave it here, and we'll see what we think. Now, let's make sure this works. All right, that fades in fairly well, so I'm okay with that. I managed to get this thing to do at least semi the fade that I wanted to do, so that's a good thing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, that one I hadn't looked at in a long time, so I'm glad to be coming back to it now when it's going to be getting closer to Halloween, and I have another one. So if I do finish that one, I've got another one. I did two at the same time. So we'll jump to that second one if I do, in fact, finish it. So thank you for coming by. Thank you, Timber Dragon, for stopping by and chatting. And anybody else, whether you see this live or later, it doesn't matter to me. I just appreciate you watching it. I get that not everybody's going to catch it live because, yeah, it's tough to schedule stuff for everybody in different places in the world. But that's okay. These things all go up on the YouTube channel so you can watch them there. So feel free to watch them later. It doesn't make any difference to me. But do this. Go out there and try to be creative yourself, or at the very least, find somebody else being creative. And if there's a creator that you like, support that creator if you can. Bye, Timber Dragon. Thank you very much. Hope your throat feels better. And for everybody else, again, thank you for stopping by. Get a little bit of creativity in your life. It's good for your mind, your body, and your soul. And until the next stream, again, thanks for coming by whenever you do. And until we meet again,